Part 3, Lebanon Correctional. This is strictly war stories. I'm going to jump right into it. I got some ticket history I want to read from conduct reports I sent home when I was in the hole. And also, you only get 10 minutes. I want to try to get as many mashed in as I can. So this first one I'm going to talk about, it was a LK dude that his own people banished him and he was shunned, but he owed like every organization money. And they asked like 3 people to do something to him. They call it hands laid, debt paid. Like, we know he ain't gonna pay us, so we gotta put hands on him just to show, you gotta show some form of dominance over stuff like that, or people will just think that you're getting soft. So after pussyfooting around a couple people, I said, fuck it, I'll do it. But they paid me and made it worth it. Pretty much paid me for something I was supposed to do anyways, being asked, so that was respect. But you could put stuff in your mat at Lebanon, and they don't check it. You could stuff anything you want in your mat, and out of respect, those COs are not going to check that mat. They're going to bring you your direct mat. That's also the only prison I know that does that. And now they'll come straight to your door and hand you your mat, knowing 9 times out of 10 it's stuffed with shit. Candy, a radio, maybe even a phone, hella, you know what, substances and stuff, whatever. But if you want to get crafty, you could put them in your shoes, different things, because they also let you take your shoes right with you. So if you get into a fight and you got shit stashed in your shoes, it's coming with you, because that's what everybody does. They also don't check their shoes. Leb is very corrupt. The ticket reads like this. While performing a range check after the release from Chow, Officer Shively noticed small drops of blood on the day room floor around cell 1K15. After locking down Rage 1, upon from Chow, Shively reviewed camera footage of the area. In doing so, he witnessed inmate McCombs 701-802 throw 2 closed fist strikes into the facial region of inmate Hypes 748-155. Inmate Hypes backed away and did not fight back. Because of that bitch ass shit, they gave me a Rule 4 for this, which is an assault. A Rule 19 is just a fight. A Rule 17 is a group fight. That's unauthorized group activity. If you're not tagged in a gang and you end up in a group fight, they're going to be like, all right, so we got these 2 Latin Kings fighting these 2 GDs. This dude ain't tagged, but he was on his side. We're going to tag him regardless. Even if you ain't got nothing tatted on you, it doesn't matter. Because they're like, why else would you be helping a known gang member in a fist fight? You see what I'm saying? So that's how that works. They gave us like 14 days in the hole, but he got out the next day. He at first said he feared for his life, blah, blah, blah. They're like, they ran the cameras and said, well, he didn't swing back. So they let his ass back out the hole, put him right back in the same block. Lebanon's messed up like that. They'll put you in with people they know you don't get along with, your rivals. They might think you owe them money. Anything, they'll just sit back and watch. Put you in the block, the cell, the property room after you get out the hole. It's like the COs just want to make bets and see what happens. All right, next story is part of the reason why I started falling back. Anybody knows if you're in a biracial organization and you're a white dude, you got to prove yourself a little bit more. Also, there'll always be like 1 or 2 people who got that racist shit in them and they don't want to see other races a part of their organization. Ours allows African American, Caucasian, and Latino. So that's how that works. Well, me and there was 2 dudes, T26 and Yuckmouth. They was close. For some reason, I always felt like I didn't get along with them, vice versa. Like they held a grudge or something. I can never figure out why. Well, on the day Yuck was going home, we had another argument like we always did. We was always bumping heads. We was always getting yelled at by the guys to chill out. Like some fucking siblings arguing and the parents yelling at them. That's how this shit was. We was always getting told by our higher-ups to squash that shit. And we threatened homie rounds all the time. Like, we'd be like, well, what, you want to have a homie round? That means where you get a fight sanction for 60 seconds where you and the bro could go in there and take out your anger on each other. It's the same for violations, 60 seconds, if it's that serious of a violation. I'm going to read this conduct report and then tell you exactly how it happened. Officer M. Jones seen inmate McCombs, inmate Reek, and inmate Snyder, all 3 exchanging closed hand fists striking each other. All 3 inmates stopped fighting and were handcuffed. Inmate Snyder had visible injuries to his forehead. No extra force was used. Inmates were escorted to an infirmary and segregation. So on the day he was leaving, when he knew his family was coming and he was running his mouth, I knew if we didn't do something now, I'd regret it forever. He had kept saying what he was saying. I said, you know what, yuck, get in this fucking bathroom, bro. And he was like, all right, because he ain't no bitch. So he goes in there first. I look over at the guard shack. It's like a platform thing to see if they're looking. I pop top, take my shirt off, and walk in there. But remember, that's a part of this story. I come around the corner. He's already taking off on me. Boom. We get to hitting each other. We lock up, slamming each other. But he ends up tripping and falling over the toilet. So when that happens, I start kind of upping them. People are walking in, seeing this. 2-6 and all the other guys, but they blew the spot up. And it's kind of like called 6-5, and where people will watch and let you know if the cops are coming so they don't catch you in the act. But while this is happening, 2-6 runs over and kicks me in the back, and I fly forward. So I end up grabbing one of them and taking one of them down with me. But we're rolling around on this dirty floor. We all three get to our feet and we catch our bearings. But at this point, I feel hits from both sides. So I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I just close my eyes and start throwing fucking windmills because I felt paranoid, thinking all my guys was jumping me, but it wasn't. They was actually standing over here watching this take place. But the little homie round that it was supposed to be turned into me getting jumped, and so I just start swinging because I'm feeling myself hitting them. And I know if you're close enough to me right now, you need to be punched because I knew I was being jumped. Someone yells, 12. Well, at that time, I didn't realize yet I caught Yuck real good, either with a punch or an elbow, because it split him really good right here. I didn't know that yet. So when they all start coming out, they now know there's a fight because they grab him and he's bleeding on his white t-shirt. I put my shirt on, and a couple people was walking out, and I blend in with them. But what they do is they build a wall and try to stop all the inmates. They're checking their hands, seeing if they're out of breath, shit like that. When I walk out, I didn't realize that my tag was right here. So they start, my homies all start laughing, some of my people, and they're yelling like free packy and shit because they knew I was smoked. I was out of breath, and my tag was right here. Plus, I had like some scratches and red marks. I ended up having like a black eye and like a couple marks on me. But at that time, that was what gave it away, was the out of breath and the tag. They take us to the hole. Yuck got his eye glued shut, and his family picked him up. But when they gave me in 2-6, 28 days in the hole, they let us out on like the 24th day. And they put us right in the property room together. They do shit like that on purpose. I feel like they just wanted to see what would happen. We seen each other. We locked up. We admitted that we really don't like each other, and we're pretty much forced to. And we went our separate ways. To this day, I still ain't got nothing against him. But very soon after this is when I started making a decision to want to try to fall back. I got 2 more minutes. I'm going to try to mash some more shit in there. On the above date and time, conducting count as I approached inmate McComb 701-802 and inmate Smith 775-770 cell. They were in a fighting stance, facing each other with their fists up, out of breath, as if they were just fighting. I gave them directives to step away from each other. I alerted my partner, who then approached to help assist. We notified shift and yard officers. They arrived and escorted both inmates to segregation. That was just a dumb situation where me and my bunkie got into a fight during count time, and they caught us red-handed. All right, so I might have to do a part 4 to tell the rest of this. This could be the intro. At one point, we had an alliance with the KFs, Convicted Family from Columbus. It lasted about 3 weeks. We did mandatory workouts together. We went to chow together, everything. But someone stole one of our phones from another block, because this alliance was all over every block. But when this happened, dude accused one of the KFs of stealing his phone. So he told all of our higher ups, and they said tomorrow at 7 a.m. we're all lining up. The whole compound. That's not just us. Every cell block got word that at 7 a.m. we all had to line up, which means way back there in the corner, these are all identical blocks, there's a cell. It's the banging cell. When the COs know what's going on, they'll get on their phone or their newspaper, and they won't pay attention. Everybody goes in for a minute. When they knock on that door, it means it's done. But your head people will pick. They'll be like, you and you, go. Well, me and my bunkie was a KF. Cool dude named Mikey from Columbus. They made me and him fight because we was bunkies. Just some cruel, little cruel thing they wanted to do, I guess. That was my homie too. But afterwards, we was laughing and kicking it when we locked down that night. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Stay safe, stay free, stay blessed. Let's talk about Lebanon Correctional some more. Everyone knows it as Leb. It's in Warren County, Lebanon, Ohio, which is southern Ohio. I don't care who you are. If you find out you're riding there, you might be a little bit excited knowing the shit you're going to be able to get away with, but you also got that little bit of curiosity in the back of your mind. You got high-ranking gang members, people who are about that life, love fighting, like that action. Even those people who've never been there, it's going to cross their mind and go, I've heard a lot of things about this place. What am I walking into? It holds 1,500 people. It was built for in 1960, but it usually carries about 1,700 inmates. This photo is from when it was first built. The only difference would be now there's tables in the middle lining up, and that third tier has a guardrail so no one could get thrown over or fall, which has happened. People have jumped and people have been tossed over. This is also the only prison in Ohio that carries 3 tiers: first, second, third. I always like being on that top tier. Takes the cops a lot longer to get up there. They're usually very lazy and they don't give a shit. I'm going to talk a little bit about how my first day was, and I'm going to talk about the conditions of the place. So they get a $3,000 fine every year for being open because they're technically considered a condemned building. There's roaches and mice galore. The water has like a yellow tint, and the only reason they keep themselves open is because there's a plate shop in the basement. Inmates work down there. They make about $100 a month, which only $18 a month is what you get for an average state pay. I got $40 a month working in the Trinity kitchen at Lake Erie because it was Trinity and not Airmark. But that's the best money you can make right here. They only put certain inmates who they could trust in there. That's why they keep it open. 9 times out of 10, your license plate here in Ohio was made by prison inmates. So I want to mention my bro Mike Page. It's my mixed homie from Youngstown. Me and him went through a lot of shit in prison. He was sentenced to life, but he got his appeal going through. I read his paperwork. He should be coming home because I seen where the Supreme Court was apologizing. I was sitting there when they brought him his legal mail. He's already been down about 12 years. I put a photo with him in the video prior to this where I did my photo album. We rode to 3 prisons together, which was very strange. That's not normal. And not only was it very strange that we caught up to each other for the 3rd time, I rode in on my birthday, 3/22 of 23. And then I left on 3/23/23, which those numbers was weird too. But I was sentenced to do at least 1 year because this is the disciplinary prison. That didn't mean I only had to do 1 year. It was stating that I had to do at least 1 year. People get told that and stay 2-3 years until they decide to drop you. But it's like a punishment within a punishment. So imagine all the worst people in Ohio who are acting up, getting in trouble, are mashed into one building. It's gangland for real. Out of 100% population, at least 90 are active gang members, dropout gang members. It's only about 10% of people who have never claimed a gang there. So my first day, me and Mike catching up, we're having a good old time, kicking it on the bus, but I was a little bit nervous. I don't know if he was. We get there, and as soon as we go into medical, right, there's a man down, a signal 3, and we hear keys, combat boots slapping. I'm seeing these big females that they're pretty looking, but you could tell they don't fucking play no games. They got these big ass long nightsticks that they're allowed to hit you with. There's no other prison in Ohio that I know of that allows them to carry that. Because this is disciplinary, and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. So if a fight happens, they all go from different blocks. Let's say there's a fight in K King, right? They call it Killer King, or J John. They call it Jungle John. Them are 2 of the worst blocks. If there's a fight in one of those, people will come from other blocks, E. Edward, A. Adam, and they will abandon the inmates that are in there and run out just so they could go help the other block. And it might even be during the day where there's day room open, right? So let's say right now, imagine 100 inmates are in here, hanging out, having day room. Boom, you'll just see the 2 COs at the desk jump up and take off running, and now you're all just standing in there like, okay. I mean, there's cameras everywhere, but that happens all the time. They'll run, do their thing. They might not come back for 10 minutes. And the reason why they do that is their fights there are different. So it's not like, oh, there was a fist fight like in a level 2 dorm. These are off the charts different. I'm talking about 2-on-3s, 3-on-3s, 3-on-1s, anything like that, weapons, locks. It's nothing to get caught carrying a you know what there. They don't care. You'll get in a hole for like 14 days and come back out. They ain't gonna press charges. They don't care because they know what it's like there. And they expect you to protect yourself. So it's not like in other prisons where people are scared to get caught with a weapon. At this place, they expect you to have a weapon. And when you're walking down the hallway, you'll get caught at what they call a checkpoint. Just like out here in the free world, they'll stop the whole group and put up a metal detector. And everybody's like, oh, fuck, we're smoked. Because one thing you can't do at Lab is you can't just go wherever you want. There's duct tape on the ground, and it's designated walking areas. You're allowed to talk and shit, but you're pretty much being marched to wherever you're going. And it's like traffic. So you'll be going this way, and you'll have another group, another block coming this way, and everybody's like, what up, showing love to each other, you know, throwing up their gang signs and just talking to each other, whatever. But you can't cross and see each other. You know, you might have a cousin or a brother that lives in Lebanon, but they're in another block, and that's the only way you see them is once in a great while. And sometimes they will also let blocks go to the yard together, but it's kind of a rare occasion. I mention that because in most prisons, you have like a free range to just open a door, go outside when you want, go in this area of the building, whatever. Not at Leb. Another thing is their tier system is different with the hole. They do 7, 14, 21, 28. And if you get to that 28, you stay there. So if you get in trouble 4 times and then you get in trouble a 5th time, you're going to continue doing 28 days every time. Another thing is if you get into a fight in the block, it's 7 or 14 usually. But if you get into a fight past the captain's office, I don't know why they care about that, but they do. Which would be captain's office, that hallway, the 3 chow halls, the education, medical, you know, anything down there, not medical, but everything else I just named, they take it a lot more serious. I don't know why. Another thing is they have 3 chow halls there. This place was built to carry 1,500 inmates. It carries about 1,700. I've never seen a prison with 3 chow halls, meaning you can pick 1, 2, 3. They're in a row. For us, when, you know, the way we would do this was our guys, we would all move as one. So, like, let's say they called chow. We would, at one point, we had 21 of us in the block. And we would get together and be like, all right, everybody here, everybody here. All right, cool, let's move as one. And we would walk together to chow. But we had to go to that 3rd chow hall. It was our mandatory chow hall. No games, no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't, oh, I got my bro wants to meet me in chow hall 1 because he wants to give me something. It don't matter. It's mandatory. You got to be in that 3rd chow hall because if some dumb shit happens, you're expected to be there to help your guys. We might go down there with 5 of us and we got something going on with the KFs, the C-Dubs, Crips, Bloods, whatever. And you get down there and come, you know, HF, any other organizations, you get down there, come to find out some dumb shit happens and they just crash you out right in the block or in the chow hall. It was that type of place. It was war. Like, it was legit war going on. People really come home with PTSD off of that because it's very, very, very militant there. Everything I just said is exactly that. I might have downplayed it a little bit. And it's different. It's to the point where people could be beefing with people and they will run into another block, crash you out while your day room's open, and they don't give a fuck that the COs are in there. I've seen that happen to where the COs will run out to get back up because people are coming in with knives, locks, and fan motors, and they are searching this entire area you see right here for their rival gang members and trying to hurt them as much as they can before it gets broken up. And they'll come in with, 10 more COs, spray everybody and break it up. In that chaos, though, this is literally like, it's like a war zone. So anybody seeing this and, knowing you end up in jail, there's certain ways you can act in jail to not become level 3 disciplinary. Once you find yourself here, you're in the shit. There's no turning back. If you're affiliated with anything, there's no turning back. I went down this route twice. I was on count, got off, took my beating, chose to go back, got my second beating, and now I'm off count. I have no disrespect towards my guys. They know that. I still interact with a lot of them. My point is, I did this shit, and it fucked my mind up. It took a long time for me to come back from this. I just wanted to talk to y'all about Lebanon Correctional.